seated. Brilliant. So we're going to start seated. If that feels comfortable for everyone. Oh, brilliant. Did a workout this morning and I went for a walk with the dog and my legs are very tired. Brilliant. So I'm going to come into easy seated position. And we'll spend a couple of minutes doing a little bit of breath work and meditation, but we won't do it for too long because when it's very hot, it's not always particularly pleasant. And some of us have got loads of pets and stuff, so staying seated isn't always easy. So easy position, and then when you're comfortable, we're going to just gently close our eyes. Just take these couple of moments. It's summer, there's a lot of stuff going on, holidays, activities, family time, and I absolutely love it. But at the same time, it can sometimes feel a little overwhelming for people. So this is just your time to just connect within, just kind of take a little scan of how you're feeling and how your body feels. So just connecting to that diaphragm. We're all so familiar with this at this point, connecting to the diaphragm and just taking a couple of nice deep breaths. Just allow your breath to wash over you. Perfect. As you're inhaling in, just lengthening up through your spine. Exhaling, sinking down through our seat bones, softening our hips and our knees. And I've said this before, but just take this little moment. If you'd wish to set a little intention for yourself, a little intention or a goal, and it can be anything you want. Anything at all. Just taking this moment, just thinking about it, reflecting on it, visualizing it, whatever you'd like. Wonderful. And then if it calls to you, if you're not doing so already, we can do a couple of nice gentle yogic breaths. So just inhaling in through the nose, expanding the stomach. And then as you exhale out, you can exhale out through your nose or your mouth if that feels a little weird. But allowing your stomach to sink back down. Perfect. As you're inhaling in, just noticing that breath, that oxygen traveling in through your nostrils, down through your throat. That prana is traveling to every part of your body. Then as you're exhaling out, just allowing any worries or distractions or negative feelings to just exit your body with that breath. And if it comes back again, which it most likely will, I'm going to sound a bit pessimistic, but we're human, you just send them away again with your breath and know that there's absolutely no pressure to have a completely clear mind. We rarely do. Perfect. And then when we're ready, we're going to just gently open our eyes and just come back to the present moment. So that was quite short, sorry guys, but sometimes I find it very hard in the heat. So we're going to get moving. So we're going to just start off just gently doing a little bit of knocking on heaven's door while seated. So just allowing your arms to swing. Might feel a bit weird. Just, oh, I've got candles behind me, I'm going to knock over. Lovely. Yeah, I apologise, Kirsten, to your dogs, giving anti your dog if you actually smack a dog. Nice, good. Just getting a bit of movement. And actually, if it feels quite hot and muggy, this gives you a nice little breeze as well. And then when you're ready, gently releasing and then coming back to center. Perfect. And then we're just going to inhale up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, just bringing the right hand to your left knee and just taking a gentle twist. Lovely. And again, just thinking about our spine, about our hips, inhaling up tall, exhaling, softening the knees and the feet. And then we're going to come back to center. Wonderful. And then taking it to the other side. Ooh. And you might notice one side feels a little softer than the other. My right side cried out to me then. And then when we're ready, nice and gently coming back to center. Perfect. So we're going to just inhale, drawing the right arm up. We're going to do a nice lateral stretch. And then as you exhale, just reaching it over. Lovely. And if you'd like, you can play around with the movement. You can take your gaze up, kind of up to the ceiling under your arm, increasing that stretch. If that doesn't feel nice, don't bother. And then coming back to center. And then we're going to take it to the other side. So inhaling the left arm up, exhaling, stretching over. Wonderful, good. And just breathing into it. We're just juicing out the sides of our bodies. Perfect. And then coming back to center. Wonderful. And we're going to just do a nice gentle forward fold stretch, just inhaling up tall. And then as we exhale, just walking the hands forward. Oh, folding forwards. Lovely. Just really feeling that stretch at the base of your spine. And then when we're ready, nice and gently coming back up. Perfect. So we're going to do, because we're mainly focusing on Warrior Two, with a couple of extra poses, but mainly Warrior Two is kind of back and groin and hips that we're kind of focusing on. So we're going to just do a gentle little hip stretch. So we're going to just circle from our hips like this. I say hip stretch, you might not feel anything. I feel it. I find this quite difficult. But you might not feel anything, so don't worry. If you prefer though, so you can play around with the movement. If you prefer, you can also just take your legs out and just do circles with your legs out, or you can keep your feet crossed, whatever feels good for you. Nice. Good. And then when we're ready, if we haven't done so already, we're going to take that circling to the other side. Good. And focusing on Warrior Two today, because it's quite hot, or we're starting to come out of the heat. We might be feeling a bit tired, or we might be feeling very energized. Warrior Two is quite nice because it's not too intense, but it is quite a powerful pose, so it can kind of bring a bit of energy and strength back to us. Nice. And then when we're ready, nice and slowly coming back to center. Good. So we're going to do those stretches again, but we're going to do them on the other side. So we're going to just uncross our legs, remembering which way they were crossed, and then just cross them the other way. Good, 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 good. And then we're going to do our spinal twist again. So just inhaling up nice and tall. And then as you exhaling, just rotating any way you want. Perfect. Good. You can take it a little bit deeper if you'd like, or equally you can soften it. And then when we're ready, coming back to center. And then if you'd like, we're going to take it to the other side. Remember to not force anything. And then nice and softly coming back. Perfect. So we're going to do that gentle lateral stretch. It's just inhaling one arm up when you're ready. That's it. Perfect. Then exhaling, folding over. We'll hold it for just a couple of beats longer, if that feels good. And just remembering you guys are doing it beautifully. Just remembering as you're doing it, you want to keep your seat bones, I was about to say in the saddle, in the ground. You want to keep your seat bones in the ground. And then inhaling back up to center. And then inhaling up to all the perfect. And then exhaling over, nice, good. That was just autopilot. There we are. And then stretching through. I love these stretches. That's why I do them so much. Perfect. And then when we're ready, oh, nice and gently coming back. And then that forward fold again. But this time what we're going to do is we're going to inhale, drawing our arms up. Keeping shoulders nice and soft, stretching through the fingertips. Perfect. Finding that lengthening. Wonderful. And then in your own time, really lengthening up from the base of your spine. As you exhale, we're going to start to fold forward and just bring your hands to wherever feels good. But if it calls to you, what this stretch can be quite nice for is just really stretching out through the base of your spine. If it doesn't feel nice, just bring it back a bit. Wonderful. And then if you'd like, if this feels good, we can start to walk our hands over towards the left side or the right side if you prefer. Over, just kind of bringing them towards in front of your knee or somewhere near it. Then just taking a couple of breaths here. Again, just really stretching out the side of our body. Wonderful. And then bringing the hands back to center nice and slowly, and then walking them across to the other side. Breathing into it. Perfect. And then when we're ready, we're going to bring our hands back to center and then walking them back up to meet us. And then we're going to do a little counter pose, which I forgot to do last time, guys. Sorry, I was a bit naughty. So bringing the hands back behind. You're going to inhale, lifting your chest up. And if you want, you can lift your buttocks up off the ground and bring your knees to the ground if that feels good. Just keeping good, your neck engaged, taking the gaze up. Lovely. And then softly releasing back down. Oh, wonderful, shaping out. So we're going to come onto all fours. And we're going to, sorry, my mat's got squishy. We're going to come into all fours. We're going to do a couple of little calf stretches and then we're going to get moving. So nice and gently, we're just going to take one leg back behind us, toes underneath, and then just gently rock backwards and forwards. And you'll know this already. This is absolutely wonderful if you've been doing a lot of walking or running. There we go. And then when we're ready, bringing that knee back to center and then taking it to the other side, stretching one foot back. Perfect. Lovely. Stretching through. And then when we're ready, bringing that knee back to center. Wonderful. So we're going to take that into just a little side stretch. So we're going to draw back that first leg, stretching through. And then if it feels good, pointing with the toes, and we're very familiar with this, we're going to start to circle that foot back. Lovely, yeah, that's it, nice. And then lifting up that top hand. And then if you want a little balance, you can kind of kick that grounded foot out. And then if you want a little balance, you can lift that top leg up. For me, it's my left. That's it, good. Perfect. And then little side plank, perfect. And then releasing back down. And then we're going to take that to the other side. I'm just going to spin around. So stretching back with one leg, lovely. And then same again, pointing through the toes. And as you do this, you want to really feel that lift up with your hips. That's nice, Kirsten, good. And then drawing, and only if you want, you can lift that top foot up. Sometimes I just feel a bit too wobbly for that. Nice, guys, that's good. And then when we're ready, softly releasing, coming back down. Perfect. So we're going to now make our way up to downward facing dog. We're going to just take it nice and steady. So just tucking the toes under, and as you exhale, bend, keeping the knees bent as much as you want. We're going to lift our hips up and back. Perfect, good. And then softly pedaling through. Wonderful. And just listen to your body. I find if I haven't done downward facing dog in a while, I have to really bend my knees. You might not be the same as me, or you might be. So you can bend your knees as much as you want, just to take the stretch off the back of your legs. Wonderful. And you can widen your feet as well. So you can take your feet even wider, or you can bring them to hip distance apart. And they're just ways of modifying. Lovely. And then when we're ready, nice and gently, we're going to lower the knees down to the ground, coming back to tabletop. Perfect. And then we're going to just go into downward facing dog once more, if that feels good. If your wrists need a little break, you can just come up and then give your wrists a little massage. Or equally, if you're ready to get going, we're going to tuck our toes under. And then as you exhale, bringing the hips up and back. And then pedaling. Lovely, good. And again, just playing with that downward facing dog, because there's so many different ways that we can do this. So you want to find the downward facing dog that works for you and your body at that moment in time. Lovely. Pedaling out, perfect. And then if it feels good, we're going to inhale, lifting the right foot up to three-legged dog. And then as we exhale, we're going to draw that foot forwards, walking it forward using our hands, and then lowering the back knee. We're going to come into a gentle low lunge. Nice, guys. Good, good. And then do a little bit of rocking backwards and forwards if you like. Wonderful. And then when we're ready from here, we're going to gently draw ourselves up to an upright position. Wonderful. And if you feel a little bit wobbly, just making sure that your foot and your knee is on train tracks, not tightrope. Lovely. And then when we're ready, we're going to inhale, drawing our arms up, stretching up. Perfect. Nice. And then as we exhale, we're going to open our chest to the left-hand side. Open arms up either side, kind of like a modified warrior two. Wonderful. Good. Breathing into it, reaching through the fingertips. Wonderful. And then we're going to inhale, bringing the chest back to center, bring your arms up overhead. And then we're going to do a gentle twist. So as we exhale, opening the chest to the other side. And if you'd like, you can bring your arms down so you've got your right hand behind and left hand on the outside of your thigh. Lovely. Breathing into it. Perfect. And then lovely. When we're ready, we're going to inhale, bringing the arms back up overhead. Perfect. And then exhale, drawing them back down. Wonderful. And then just listening to your body, because sometimes this stretch can be a bit too much too early on. We can come into a gentle runner's lunge. So you can start to walk your hands back and lift your foot up in front. Keep your knee as soft as you want though. That's it, good, good. We won't stay here for too long. Lovely. And then when we're ready, walking the hands back in front, bending that knee, and then we're going to bring that knee back. Perfect. Into tabletop. And then we're going to come into downward facing dog again. So tucking the toes under. And then as you exhale, lifting the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Wonderful. Pedaling through. Perfect. And then again, just being mindful. So we're going to inhale that other leg up. I think it's the left leg. I can't remember. The other leg up to three-legged dog. And then as you exhale, scooping it through, bringing the foot between your hands or on the outside if you prefer. And then we're going to lower that knee back down, coming back into that low lunge. Perfect. You do a little bit of pulsing here if you want. Wonderful. And then when we're ready, we're going to inhale, drawing ourselves upright, and then draw your arms up over our head. Perfect. When we get into warrior two, it's going to be a lot more hatha, and we're going to hold it for a lot longer. But while we're warming up, we're just flowing a bit more. There we go. And then when we're ready, as we exhale, we're going to open our torso to the right hand side. Perfect. Good. And then stretching through our fingertips. And if it feels a bit too much in your shoulders, you can bring your chest to face forward a little bit, just adapt it. Wonderful. Nice, guys. Breathing into it. Good. And feel free to walk that front foot out as wide as you want, if that helps, if that makes it easier. I like to have my feet quite wide apart. Good. And then when we're ready, we're going to inhale, arms back overhead. Good. And then we're going to exhale, coming into that twist and bringing our hands to wherever feels good. Perfect. We're going to stay here for a couple of breaths, if that feels good for you, if that calls to you. Sorry, if I sound a bit distracted, I can hear my knee creaking underneath me. And then when we're ready, we're going to inhale, arms back overhead. And then we're going to lower our hands back down. Feel free at any point, if your knees don't like this, feel free to lift your back knee up or come out of it at any point. And then if you'd like, being very mindful of your joints, we're going to come into that runner's lunge. Softening the knee as much as you want, just listening to your body. Perfect. Lovely. And then when we're ready, we're going to bend that knee again, coming back into that lunge, and then tucking the back toe under. We're going to lift the back knee up, and then we're going to bring that front foot back to downward facing dog. And then pedaling out. Lovely. Stretching out. And then we're going to start to think about our warrior two. So when we're ready, we're going to nice and carefully walk our hands to our feet, coming into a forward fold. Perfect. Bending the knees as much as you want. And then we're going to start to walk our hands up our legs, rolling up to standing. Perfect. As slowly as you want. Wonderful. And then if I forgot to say at the beginning, guys, feel free to stop for drinks of water whenever you want. So we're going to make our way, when you're ready, we're going to make our way into a wide-legged stand. Perfect. And then what you want to do, I'm probably repeating it, but just in case anyone had forgotten or they didn't know, for wide-legged poses, warrior two, extended side angle, extended triangle, you want to draw your arms up. And then if you point your fingers down, you do not want the outside of your feet to go wider than your fingertips drawing down. Does that make sense? So you don't want your feet like this, obviously. You want to have them in. Now you can have them even closer. So they don't have to be where your fingertips point down. They can be closer, but you do not want them wider. That's it. Nice. Good. So once we're in a comfy position, we're going to then draw our left toe out to face the front of the mat. Wonderful. And then you want to adjust the back foot so that your right heel is in line with your front heel, with your left heel. If that doesn't feel right, you can play around with it. Just listen to your hips. But that's generally speaking what's meant to feel good. Good. Nice. And then, and I've told all of you this before, so you might be bored of this, but when we go into warrior two, what's very important is you do not want your front knee to collapse in. So you want to engage your inner thigh, and you want to almost imagine that you're pointing your front knee out to the outside corner. So this left knee, you want to have it drawing out, pointing out to the left corner. Almost. I mean, it's not actually going to be like you can dislocate your knee. That's what you want to feel as an engagement. Good. So when we're ready, we're going to bend that front knee. Perfect. Good. And engaging, that's really nice, guys. And then my hips don't let me do this, so do not worry about it. You might be the same as me. But you want to then have your, for warrior two, your hips and your torso facing the long side of the mat. Okay. I used to get yelled at a lot by yoga instructors, and I was like, my hips don't let me. So do not worry. If you find yourself twisted about that, just honestly don't worry about it. You can do that. And then when we're ready, we're going to inhale, drawing our arms up. Lovely. Good. And then you're going to hate me. We're going to hold it. Perfect. Good. And as you're doing this, you want to visualize, imagine there's energy lines running from your fingertips, one side, all the way through your arms, through your torso, through your arms and out the other side. So you're really drawing that energy from the room, from the environment, into your body. And really pressing down into both feet equally. So if one foot is holding your weight or holding you up more than the other. You want to just play around a little bit with your position, because both feet want to be grounded down. So really rooting down, lovely. Good. And then when we're ready, if you feel okay, we're going to come into a little reverse warrior, or a little friendly warrior. So we're going to bring that right hand to the base of our back, and we're going to draw the left fingertips up, taking the gaze up to the fingertips. If you start to feel, because I don't know how hot your house is, if you start to feel a little bit out of breath or a bit uncomfy, just come out of this at any point you want. If this feels quite nice, you're going to stay here. Perfect. Breathing into it and allowing our facial muscles to just relax, soften. Really pressing down into the feet, stretching up through the spine. And then when we're ready from here, as we inhale in, we're going to draw back to warrior two. And at this point, my shoulders are crying, screaming at me. So from here, you're going to really hit, you're going to look at coming into warrior one. So keeping the back heel grounded, we're going to inhale, bring the arms up overhead, and then turning the hips to face the front. Lovely, good. And keeping rooting down into your feet, keeping that inner thigh engaged. Lovely. So this is what I mean by it's actually quite a strong pose. Warrior two, like extended triangle, like extended side angle, when held for quite a few breaths, is actually really quite tough. Lovely, guys. And then when we're ready from here, we're going to exhale back to warrior two. So exhaling into it. And then when you're ready from here, we're going to turn both feet, both toes to face the long side of the mat and bring your hands to the hips. Lovely. So we're going to do a nice wide-legged forward fold. And for the first one, we're going to progress with it just for our back. So there's going to be different variations for you to use. But for the first one, if it feels good, we're going to keep our hands on our hips and we're going to inhale, lengthening through our spine. So really lengthening up and through. And then as you exhale, pivoting from the hips, keeping the spine nice and long, you're going to start to fold forwards. And then at any point you want, you're going to bring your hands out in front of you to begin with. So in front of your face on the ground, almost on like your arms will be on a diagonal line from your shoulders. Sorry, it took me a while to explain that, guys. If that feels good, and feel free, that's lovely, really nice, guys, to bend your knees as much as you want as well, okay? And then if it feels good, we're going to start to walk our hands back so they're coming just in front of our feet, in the middle, or in between them, whatever feels good for you. Lovely, nice. And we want this to feel like the restorative pose. So if it doesn't feel nice, it feels quite sore or uncomfortable, just come out of it, please, at any point. Wonderful. And then if it feels good, you can start to walk your hands back behind you through your feet. That feels good. You might feel a little bit of I find this is quite good for stretching your glutes and your hamstrings. And it's very relaxing. And then when we're ready, we're going to walk our hands back out in front of us and then bending our knees nice and slowly. We're going to walk ourselves back up to standing any way you want. Just being nice and mindful of your spine. Perfect. So we're going to take that to the other side. And I'm sorry, because this is because I'm going over a lot of groundwork, warrior two, but sometimes when we're doing it for a long time, sometimes we forget about the basics, but I apologize if it's boring, just feel free to let me know at any point. So we're going to take that warrior two now to the other side. So again, just opening out that right foot. Perfect. And just thinking, it's kind of like a little checklist to yourself, just checking heels are in line, front knee, right knee is really drawing out towards the right corner. And when you do that, you'll feel a bit of engagement on your inner thigh, and maybe a little bit of a stretch on your hip flexors and your groin. You don't want to feel too much, but you might feel kind of a little, you're just aware of it. Perfect. And then really grounding down into the outside of your back foot and the front of your leading foot. Nice, guys. And then you're all bending that knee. Perfect. And then when we're ready, we're going to inhale, drawing our arms up. Perfect. And then we're going to breathe into it. And you can adjust. So I find this side harder. So for me, I'm going to bring that foot a bit closer and I'm just going to come a little bit higher. And that feels a bit nicer. So you can play around with it. Perfect. Good. And then breathing into it, we're going to hold it for a couple more breaths. And at any point, if your arms start to hurt, you can bring your hands to your hips. Ooh, do some shoulder rolls. You do you. Just listen to your body. Perfect, good. There we go. And then when we're ready, we're going to come into friendly warrior. So we're going to bring that left hand to the back of the hip and then inhaling, drawing the right hand up, taking the gaze up. Wonderful. And then you can start to stretch the hand back behind if that feels good. Sorry, I had my hand on my hip like a kettle. There we go. Breathing into it. And as you're holding this pose, inhaling, just almost imagine that breath is coming up through the front of your torso. So that's where the awareness is. And then exhaling, really rooting down into your feet. Perfect. And then when we're ready, we're going to gently inhale back to warrior two. Perfect. And then from here, we're going to pivot into warrior one. So adjusting any way you need to, we're going to inhale, drawing the arms up overhead. Lovely, good. Breathing into it. And then just keep holding it for me a little bit longer as I come out of it. That's it, nice. Really nice, guys. And keeping our core engaged. So we're going to keep our core engaged. So we're really drawing up through the front. Lovely, we've got our pelvis tucked under slightly. Okay. And then all it is really, it's nothing obvious. You can't see it, it's just subtle, you feel it. Perfect. We're going to stay here for 2 more breaths. Feel free to drop your hands down at any point you want. Wonderful, guys. Good, 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 good. And then when we're ready, on your exhalation, we're going to swivel back round to warrior two. Lovely. And holding it there for a couple more breaths again. You might hate me at this point, but you might be really enjoying it. There we go. Good. A warrior two, you don't need me to explain this to you. Warrior two is a wonderful strengthener for your legs and your core and your spine. And it also stretches your hips, your inner hips, your groin. So it's kind of got a combination of both. Perfect. And then when we're ready, whoo, we're going to exhale, bringing the feet back to face the front. Nice. Do whatever you want. You might want to do some arm swings, whatever you want, shoulder rolls. I want to throw something at the screen, just whatever feels good. Nice. So we're going to come into that wide-legged forward fold again. So I'm going to show you another variation. I'm going to show you it. I have done it before with some of you guys. If you look at it and think, I'm going to fall over, don't do it. Okay. So what you can do is you can interlace your hands behind your back, keeping your spine nice and long and keeping a little bit of engagement, and then really reaching back through the hands. You can start to fold forward from your hips. Nice, nice, nice. And really stretch forward. This is quite tough on your balance, so do not do it. And your shoulders, do not do it if you think it's going to be a problem. Perfect. And then when you're ready, we're going to nice and softly release the hands and bring them back down in front on the ground. Perfect. And then this is your wide-legged forward fold. So if walking your hands back to between your feet, kind of looking at a bit more of a glute and a hamstring stretch is what calls to you, then you can do that. Or if having your hands out in front and really stretching from the spine, almost like a downward facing dog. And that will focus a little bit more on stretching through your spine and your lower back, calls to you more, then you can absolutely do that. Or equally, if you want, you can look at bringing your hands to either foot. And again, that kind of focuses on just stretching through your hamstrings. Okay, so you play, and you guys have been doing, you're not beginner yogis, you are advanced yogis. So you'll be familiar with all of these. You just flow through them wherever you prefer. Sorry, I sounded a bit off then, guys. I'm on the carpet and I almost slipped. I got a little bit scared at the idea of accidentally doing the splits. Lovely. And then when we're ready, nice and softly, we're going to nice and gently bend the knees and then walking the hands back up our legs as slowly as you want. We're going to start to roll back up, and feel free to grab a drink. If, because we're going a lot from standing up to head below your body, if you feel a bit funny, just sit down or come out of the pose at any point you want. Nice, good. So we're going to do warrior two, a little warrior two flow one last time, and then we're going to make our way down for stretches. I'm going to overrun by about 5 minutes. So if anyone needs to go after 8, then honestly feel free to just log out. I'll understand. So we're going to make our way into our wide-legged position, just making sure your heels are in line. Perfect. And then when we're ready, we're going to turn out that left foot. Wonderful. And then when we're ready, bending that knee, opening up through it, engaging the inner thigh. And then we're going to inhale, drawing the arms up. Wonderful, stretching through. Perfect. And really pushing down through the feet. Lovely. Perfect. And then when we're ready from here, we're going to do a little flow. So we're going to just take our gaze over our fingertips, if we haven't done so already. And then we're going to inhale, drawing the hands up to sky, coming into that friendly warrior. Lovely. Holding it here for a breath. Lovely. Breathing up through the front of our body, exhaling down to the feet. And then when we're ready from here, we're going to inhale back to warrior two. Lovely. Exhaling out. And then we're going to inhale into warrior one. And if you'd like, you can cactus your arms, having your palms facing forward, or you can keep your arms straight up overhead, imagining you're holding a beach ball. Lovely. Perfect. And then when we're ready from here, we're going to inhale in. And then as we exhale, pivoting back round to warrior two. Lovely. And then we're going to shuffle, releasing the arms back down. We're going to shuffle the feet back to the front, and then we're going to take it to the other side. So bending that left knee, right knee, opening up and out. Lovely. And then when we're ready, inhaling, stretching the arms up. Perfect. And we want our hands to stay in line or just below our shoulders, but we don't want them to come above. You won't do it anyway because it feels unpleasant. Lovely, good. Won't feel natural. That's it, good. And we're going to stay here for 2 more breaths. Just feeling that power, that inner warrior in you. Noticing that strength. Lovely, good. And again, if we're not doing it already, bringing gaze to fingertips. And then we're going to inhale, drawing the fingertips up to sky, coming into that friendly warrior, breathing into it. Sinking down into the hips. Lovely. And then holding it for 1 more breath. Perfect. And then inhaling back to warrior two. But warrior, that's it, perfect. Coming back to warrior two. Wonderful. And then from here, we're going to come into warrior one. So inhaling, pivoting those hips to face the front. Arms up overhead, holding that beach ball. Lovely. Perfect. And just engaging that core. When you do that, you'll just feel quite a bit stronger in this pose. A lot more grounded. Feeling that purpose. Perfect. And then when we're ready from here, we're going to exhale back to warrior two. Lovely. And then release, come back to the front. Oh, shaking the arms, wonderful. My shoulders are absolutely beat. There we go. I don't know why you're off. And then we're going to come into one last wide-legged forward fold. So pick any variation at all that you liked, whether that's interlacing behind your arms, hands on hips, or another one that you've done before. Perfect. But when you're ready, we're going to just come into that forward fold, and whatever calls to you, just going to do it any way you want. And if not doing it at all, or doing a non-wide-legged forward fold, so just Uttanasana, then absolutely do that. Lovely. Breathing into it. Perfect. And just listening to your body and just doing what comes to you intuitively. And I realize that can be quite scary, especially in a, you know, what feels like a fitness class, being told, just do what feels good. But you will do the right thing for your body. Lovely. And then when we're ready, nice and softly, keeping our hands on the ground or bringing our hands to the ground. Lovely. If we haven't done this already, we're going to start to walk our heels in, and then we're going to come into a yogi squat. So just bringing your heels in as much as you want. Lovely. That's it. Nice, guys. Yeah, perfect. Wonderful. And then wonderful. Just breathing into it, because we're going to stay here for just a couple of breaths if that feels okay for you. Again, because warrior two is quite a lot of stretching on the hips, and this is as well. Lovely. Just bringing hands together. Perfect. Or equally, if you prefer, you can walk your hands out in front and just fold forwards. Wonderful. And then when we're ready, from here, we're going to gently bring our hands back round behind us. Woo! We're going to release ourselves back down. Perfect. Good. So we're going to just come into final stretches, and then we're going to head down onto the ground. So we're going to just do a very gentle glute stretch. Just because warrior two is quite strong on your legs, this is quite a nice stretch. So we're going to just bring your right leg over in front, or any leg you want actually, over. And then if it feels nice, you're going to just hug that knee up towards your chest. Lovely, good. And then if you want, you can start to bring that right hand back behind you. Just open your chest towards right side. Nice, good, good. And just hugging that knee in as much as you want. Lovely. I'm facing away from you guys, sorry. There we are. I'm going to stay here for a couple more breaths if that feels okay. Perfect. Just breathing into it. And then when we're ready, we're going to softly unfurl, drawing that leg out, giving your leg a little shake. And then we're going to take it to the other side. So drawing that other leg over. And again, you might notice that one side feels quite different to the other. Mine definitely does. There we go. Perfect. We're just really releasing, squeezing out the left side of our glutes and down through the side of our thighs. Perfect. We're going to hold it here for a couple more breaths. And then when we're ready, softly releasing. Whew, and coming back to center. Lovely. Just giving your legs a little shake. That should come with a warning. If you've eaten a big meal just before doing yoga, hugging your thigh into your stomach does not always feel nice. So we're going to come into a, we're going to do cobblers, but we're going to first of all just do a gentle forward fold. So all we're going to do is having our feet, so you can have your feet hips apart, or you can have your feet closer together. We're just going to inhale, drawing our arms up, lovely, really stretching through. Perfect. And then as you exhale, bending your knees as much as you want, you're going to start to fold forward, bringing your feet to wherever feels good. Lovely. Perfect. And you might want to hold your feet, or you might want to have your fingers stretched out just over the top. Wonderful. And again, I'm just making sure as you do this that your knees feel nice and soft, they don't feel locked. And you're pressing down into your seat bones and lengthening up through your spine. Perfect. And then when we're ready, nice and gently, walking our hands back up. And then we're going to do one last stretch, just because it's very good after doing Warrior Two. We're going to come into little cobblers. So just bringing your feet together in front. Now this, just take this nice and gentle. This is quite a strong stretch on your inner thighs. So just be nice and mindful. Just bringing feet together. And if that feels enough, you can bring your hands back behind and just sit up nice and tall, keeping knees soft. Or if you want, you can bring your feet to your hands, don't do that. Bring your hands to your feet and you can start to fold forwards. Sorry, this is not a dog-friendly pose. Perfect. So I'm getting distracted because I've been running around all day in Crocs and my feet are disgusting. I washed them just before I came to teach and they're still disgusting. I don't know how they managed to do it. Perfect. Lovely. And if you'd like, this is our last stretch before we go down to Shavasana. So if you'd like, you can gently close your eyes. You can actually, if it feels good, rest your elbows on your feet and just kind of cup your hands, make a little pillow with your hands and hold your head in it. If that feels good. Or equally, you can sit up and just have your hands behind you. It's all the exact same pose. Lovely. And just again, having a little reflection on that goal, if you had one, that thing you wanted to achieve in yoga, or think about. And whether or not you achieved it, or you didn't have one, just know that it is all the exact same, because it's all just a journey. It's all a journey. And whatever you did, it's perfectly equal. And then when we're ready, we're going to nice and gently start to bring ourselves back up, if you'd like. You all actually looked quite comfortable in that. Might be my imagination, but you actually all look like that's quite nice. And then we're going to do a very gentle counter pose for our back. So just stretching your legs out in front, pushing through heels or toes, I don't mind. And then bringing the hands back behind. We're going to just inhale, lifting the chest and the gaze up, gentle back bend. Engaging the shoulders, lovely. Breathing up into your chest, exhaling, softening down. And then we're going to release back to center, and we're going to make our way nice and gently onto our backs for Shavasana. I would say you can grab pillows, you grab eye masks. You're probably not going to want blankets or socks. Just grab whatever you want. You can also, by the way, guys, for Shavasana, because everyone's backs is different, you can sit on the sofa, you can lie on the sofa. I've done that many times. I've had many clients do that. Or you can lie on the sofa, just do whatever, or you can sit up, just do whatever feels good for you, because this is, really meant to feel good. Lovely. Perfect. And once you're comfortably positioned, if it calls to you, you can gently close your eyes. And just noticing again how your body feels and how it feels compared to how it felt during Warrior Two, during the peak of our practice. Maybe you felt a little sweaty, strong, challenged. Just noticing how your body is coming back down from it, how you succeeded, you managed it, and how your body feels after it, if it feels released, tired, soft. And allowing that relaxed energy to just melt over and through your body. That purpose from Warrior Two, that strength, sinking into your joints, your bones, and then softly relaxing, coming in to that relaxation after the strength, equally as important. Now, as you're lying there, just noticing the warmth of the earth beneath you. And with every exhalation, you just allow your muscles and your joints and limbs to sink a little deeper in, to spread and melt across, allowing shoulder blades to soften down, your glutes and hips to relax, knees and ankles and wrists releasing, softening your forehead, jaw, just gently letting go of the practice and the day that you've had. And every exhalation just allows you to sink a little deeper down. And feeling the soft warmth of the air around you, holding you and protecting you. And as you're lying there, just being in this moment, I'm going to go quiet for a little moment, just so that you can enjoy your Shavasana. Perfect. Now, if you'd like to, you can, of course, stay in Shavasana. Or if you'd prefer, we're going to start to just gently move and stretch and wriggle any way you want. Just bringing the awareness back to your body and back to your surroundings. And I really apologize about the dog war that's going on right now. Perfect. And just taking this moment, again, just collect your thoughts. I'm just thinking about Warrior Two and how much power it can bring to your body and strength. And if you felt that at any moment during the pose, you can just remember that feeling and bring it to yourself off the mat in everyday life. If you didn't feel that, don't worry. Perfect. And then in your own time, when we're ready, nice and slowly, you've got all the time in the world, we're going to make our way up to an easy seated position. So stretch out any way you want. They've now stopped. Sorry, I don't know if you could hear them. Perfect. Brilliant. And then we're going to just bring our practice to a close. So if you, can you see me? So if you like, we're going to bring our hands to our heart center and up to our third eye. And back to our heart center. And thank you so much for joining me in today's practice for exploring Warrior Two. Hope you're feeling strong and grounded. But if you aren't, don't worry, because I have frequently come out of Warrior Two just feeling very shaky and a bit hot and sweaty. So all feelings are valid. Wonderful. So I'm going to just stop recording.